Have you ever heard of Pangaea?
No, not that Pangaea. This Pangaea.
If you haven't heard it, let me tell you. Pangaea Resources was an international consortium, which is a big word for association, that planned to establish a high-level nuclear waste repository or dump in southeastern Australia back in the 1990s.
Basically, everyone else agrees to dump nuclear radioactive waste in Australia. The existence of this consortium was a closely guarded secret. It wasn't until its corporate video leaked to Friends of the Earth UK that the Australians knew about it.
It rose a whole lot of public and political opposition in Australia until the consortium shut down in 2001. Basically, nobody likes it when everyone else plans to make your backyard has a waste dump, a garbage can, especially dangerous kinds of waste. This story was one of the many examples of the problems faced in managing high-level nuclear waste. So this begs the question, what is high-level radioactive waste?
According to US Nuclear Regulatory Commission, high-level radioactive waste is highly radioactive byproducts produced from the reactions inside nuclear reactors. They take on two forms. One is spent or used reactor fuel, which is a fuel that are no longer efficient in generating energy, where its ability to conduct fission process has been slowed. It is thermally hot, highly radioactive, and potentially harmful. Another type of high-level nuclear waste is waste material produced from reprocessing of the reactor fuel. Yes, reactor fuel can be reprocessed, where it recycles its uranium and plutonium and can be used back in nuclear reactors. Both forms of waste are highly radioactive, highly dangerous, and they took a long time to decay. And I mean it long. If the Romans had nuclear energy, we'd still be guarding it.
There's a deep underlying problem here. If it is so dangerous, where can we safely put it for thousands and thousands of years?
For now, this high-level radioactive waste was stored on the surface level at the reactor itself, or is centralized in one specific area. First, the used fuel must be stored in ponds to allow decay of radioactivity and heat, making future handlings much safer. These wastes are stored at a minimum 5 years in several meters deep of water. The water is constantly cooled with a cooling system to avoid the water boil and let the radioactivity escape from the spent fuel. Then, it will be transferred into surface or subsurface dry casks or vaults before final disposal. Dry casks are short-term storage, which means it cannot withstand natural disasters and it needs constant human management. The most widely favored and best solution for final disposal or long-term storage of high-level radioactive waste is deep geological disposal. We store the waste deep underground in stable geologic formations, and once it's full, we seal it and leave it there for hundreds and thousands of years without any human contact.
So here comes the real problem. Where can we construct it?
Let me come back to the previous story about Pangaea. Pangaea thought that the Australian desert is the perfect place because it's stable, with less chance of rain entering the repository. Dry and stable are the two most important characteristics in constructing deep geologic repositories, as they will lower the risk of radioactive contamination. Even though Pangaea disappeared in 2001, the debate of international deep geologic repository in Australia is still ongoing until today. Like it was said before, no one wants to be responsible for someone else's waste. This political impasse was also seen in United States, where the politicians cannot seem to agree on establishing Yucca Mountain, Nevada as the final disposal for high-level radioactive waste. This impedes the disposal process of many nuclear reactors in the US, especially in Santa Onofre Nuclear Generating Station in California. Since it was closed in 2013, its nuclear waste is stored in interim storage casks, waiting either for final disposal or radioactive leakage. Despite all this political bickering, Finland had successfully come up with an agreement of a place of repositories of high-level nuclear waste. The spent fuel will be placed in copper canisters before placing them in holes in the deposition tunnels of the Finland repository. Then, the tunnels in the repository will be backfilled with clay so they can be encased in rock. Once the repository is full, the tunnel will be filled and sealed forever.
There are hundreds of nuclear reactors around the world with their spent fuels waiting for final disposal. Maybe it's about time to stop bickering and start coming up with sound solution on how to deal with this problem. Think about it. Would you let our children, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren to deal with this lethal waste in the future? Think again. Thank you.